Good morning, class 6 students. Today we are going to study about motions of the earth. There are two main movements of the earth. Motions means movements. These two movements are rotation and revolution. First of all, let us study about rotation with the help of a globe. Here we can see one globe. Rotation of the earth. This is one type of movement of the earth. Rotation means movement of the earth on its axis from west to east. Earth is always moving from west to east on its axis. Inside of this globe, one needle is there, that is called axis. So the movement of the earth on its axis can be called as rotation. And one rotation, Earth completes one rotation in about 24 hours. Earth completes one rotation on its axis in about 24 hours. And the 24 hours is called one Earth day. Because when Earth completes one rotation on its axis, that is called one Earth day. For one Earth day, around 24 hours are needed. And because of the movement of the earth on its axis only, days and nights are happened. Days and nights. When the earth moves on its axis, the part of the earth which faces toward the sun will get sunlight. And that portion will be day and the other portion will be night. And vice versa will be completed because the part which is facing away from the sun will come towards the sun and that portion again will get sunlight. So rotation of the earth causes day and night, and the rotation of the earth is mainly the movement of the earth on its axis, that is called rotation of the earth. And for one rotation, earth takes 24 hours and that is called Earth day. Now let us see about orbital plane. You can see one figure here. The plane has been formed by the Earth's orbit is called orbital plane. The plane has been formed, this area, the plane has been formed by the orbit of the Earth is called orbital plane. So we can see the axis of the Earth. This axis is around 23.5 degree tilted. This axis cannot be seen in a straight vertical line. It is slightly slanting, tilted. So this is a 23.5 degree tilted. From the orbital plane, you can see one angle, axis and orbital plane, an angle of 66.5 degree angle you can see. So this is the orbital plane. The plane which has been formed by the orbit of the earth is called orbital plane. And the earth's axis is not exactly vertical, it is tilted of 23.5 degree angle, and from the orbital plane, earth axis is around 66.5 degree angle. This you can see. And next we can see about circle of illumination. Circle of illumination. So here you can see one other image. So this is sun and earth. So we know that actually the part of the earth which faces towards the sun will get sunlight. So here you can see axis and this is the exact center of the earth. So up to this much portion sunlight is available. So when this portion is getting sunlight, this portion will be day and this area will be night. So the portion where day and night divides, that portion is called the circle of illumination. Suppose if I have one marker pen like this, suppose here this is one marker pen and just like globe, suppose let's take one globe. So here if I cut this globe exactly into two pieces, so the edge that where I have cut, that portion is called circle of illumination, because up to there light will be available and that portion is called circle of illumination. So here you can see one image, the sun, earth. The portion where sunlight is available, that portion is day and the other portion will be night. So where day and night is divided, that portion is called circle of illumination. When we cut a ball exactly into two pieces as two halves, so the middle where we cut that portion is called circle of illumination, where light is available maximum. The other portion will be night, where night and day is separated. That portion is called circle of illumination. And now let's see the next topic. If Earth is not moving, suppose if rotation and revolutions are not there, if these two movements are not there, what could have been happened? So here also let's see a globe. Suppose here if the Earth is not moving on its axis, what will happen? The part of the Earth which is facing toward the sun, always throughout the period that portion will get sunlight, and other portion will be night, this portion will be day. So the continuous features only will be available. There won't be any day and night. There won't be any seasons like summer, winter, autumn, season like that. So wherever summer, always there will be summer. Wherever winter, always there will be winter. Wherever day, always there will be day. Wherever night, always there will be night. There won't be any different features like winter, summer, autumn, spring, day and night. Such kinds of features will not be seen. Will not be there. If the Earth is not moving, or if that means Earth is not rotating, or if Earth is not making its revolution around the sun. So that is why we can say that actually because of the movement of Earth only, because of these two movements only, all the creatures can survive. Otherwise, all the creatures may not be, that means animals, plants, humans, all these living creatures cannot survive. Because for the existence of these living creatures, all types of climatic conditions are necessary. Day needed, night needed, and summer needed, winter needed, rain needed. All these features are very much necessary for the existence of all the living creatures. So here you should study about rotation. Rotation means the movement of the Earth on its axis can be called as rotation. And for the completion of one rotation, Earth takes 24 hours. That is called Earth Day. And now let's see the orbital plane. The plane which has been formed by the orbit of the Earth is called orbital plane. And circle of illumination, the portion where day and night separated, that is called circle of illumination. Now let us see the topic revolution. The movement of the Earth around the sun in its elliptical orbit can be called as revolution. We have already seen rotation. The movement of the Earth on its axis can be called as rotation. The movement of the Earth around the sun on its orbit is called revolution. For completing one revolution around the sun, Earth takes 365 and 1/4 days. That means 365 days and 6 hours Earth takes. So normally we calculate 1 year is 365 days for the easiness of the calculation. But the remaining 6 hours also will be calculated. So continuously when 4 years continuously comes, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, 24 hours will be there. That means one more day will be added. Every 4th year there will be 366 days, and that 4th year will be called leap year. 366 days will be there in a leap year. And extra added day will be included in the month of February. So in every leap year, February will have 29 days. So otherwise, in all other years, February has only 28 days. So in a leap year, February will have 29 days because the extra added 366th day, the extra added day will be included in the month of February. And now let's see, because of the rotation of the Earth on its axis, days and nights will be formed or caused. So because of the movement of the Earth around the sun, or because of the revolution, seasons are caused. There are 4 main seasons: summer, winter, autumn and spring. These 4 seasons are caused because of the rotation of the Earth. So because of the revolution of the Earth or around the sun, 4 seasons are caused. So revolution means movement of the earth around the sun. For completing one revolution around the sun, earth takes 365 and 1 by 4 days. This is called 1 earth year. Similarly, it's like Earth, all the other planets are also moving around the sun. So different planets take different duration for moving around the sun. Earth takes 365 and 1 by 4 days for completing one run movement around the sun, one rotation around the sun. And because of the rotation, that means we can say actually seasons are caused, and these are 4 seasons are there: summer, winter, autumn and spring. These 4 seasons are caused. Now let us study about summer solstice, winter solstice and equinox. Let us see first of all summer solstice. So yearly 2 times summer solstice will be there and winter solstice also will be there. When there is summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, there will be winter solstice in southern hemisphere. When there is summer solstice in southern hemisphere, there will be winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. This all happens because of the rotation of the earth, so because of the revolution of the earth around the sun. Let us see about first of all summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. So on June 21, in this figure you can see that in June 21, northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. So Tropic of Cancer is in the northern hemisphere. Sunlight will maximum fall over northern hemisphere, especially over Tropic of Cancer. And because of that, June 21st is the longest day and shortest night in the northern hemisphere, because more heat and light will fall over Tropic of Cancer on this particular day, June 21. It can be June 20, 21 and 22 in these 3 days. Most probably it will be in June 21. And that particular day is called summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. And when it is summer solstice, the same day will be winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. And now let's see here on June 21, this Tropic of Cancer is getting more heat and light from the sun, and Arctic Circle and North Pole. Between this area, sunlight is slanting and that area is facing towards the sun. So this area will receive continuously 6-month daylight. So when Arctic Circle and North Pole between this region receive continuous daylight, Antarctic Circle and South Pole continuous night will be there for the period of 6 months. This same will be repeated also. So during summer season, that means especially June 21 is the longest day and shortest night in the northern hemisphere, because on this particular day that means maximum light and heat will fall over Tropic of Cancer. And during summer season, that means especially if we say that from 21 March to 23rd September, during this period continuous daylight will be there over North Pole, between Arctic Circle and North Pole. And already we have seen actually, when there is summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, there will be winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. When there is summer solstice in southern hemisphere, there will be winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. So June 21 is a summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, and the same day will be winter solstice in southern hemisphere. Similarly, December 22nd is the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. December 22nd is the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, and the same day will be winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. So during summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, sunrise will fall over Tropic of Capricorn. So on December 22nd is the longest day and shortest night in the southern hemisphere. June 21st is the longest day and shortest night in the northern hemisphere. The same way actually we can say that that means in the southern hemisphere, especially between Arctic Circle and that means Antarctic Circle and South Pole, that area is also receiving continuous daylight for 6 months during summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. Exactly we can say that from 23rd September to 21 March. During this period, there will be continuous daylight and continuous daylight in the southern hemisphere and continuous darkness in the southern hemisphere means south pole and continuous darkness in the north pole. The same way, from 21 March to 23rd September, continuous daylight will be there in the north pole and continuous darkness will be there in the south pole. These are winter and summer solstice. And now let us see about equinox. Two equinoxes are there, that also we can say that on 23rd September there will be autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere. And when there is autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere on a particular day, same day itself, it will be spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. And 21st March is the autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere. 21st March is the autumn equinox in southern hemisphere, and the same day will be spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. When you look at the figure, you can see that 21st March it will be that means a spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, spring equinox, and 21st March will be that means autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere. 23rd September will be spring equinox in the southern hemisphere and it will be autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere. These are the two equinoxes. So when there is autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere, it will be southern that means spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. When there is autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere, it will be spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. There are 2 days, 23rd September and 21st March. This all happens because of the revolution of the earth. So what is the specialties for equinoxes? Actually, during these days, neither the north pole or south pole or neither this axis or northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere tilted toward the sun. So sunlight falls over equator. On these 2 days, sunlight is falling over equator. That's why neither north pole or south pole is actually that means continuous night or day. Almost equal days and equal day and equal night will be there. Or north pole and south pole, or northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, almost equal day and night will be there. That is why actually it is called equinox. 23rd September and 21st March. So here summer solstice is on June 21 in the northern hemisphere, and the same day will be winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. Because on June 21, sunlight will fall over Tropic of Cancer, so maximum heat and light will be available over Tropic of Cancer, and that is why it is the longest day and shortest night in the northern hemisphere. Similarly, it will be the longest night and shortest day in the southern hemisphere. The same way, December 22nd is the summer solstice in southern hemisphere, and during this day, especially on this particular day, maximum sunlight will fall over Tropic of Capricorn, and this day will be the longest day and shortest night in the southern hemisphere and longest night and shortest day in the northern hemisphere. And equinox, 23rd September and 21st March. 23rd September is the autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere, and on the same day itself, it will be spring equinox in southern hemisphere, and 21st March is the autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere, and the same day itself spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. This happens because of that during these particular days, on these 2 days, that means sunlight is falling over equator region, and so northern and southern hemisphere almost equal day and night will be there. That's why these 2 days are called equinox.